So I wanted to make a video just to talk about spiritual awakening because, actually, I'm so conditioned to say spiritual awakening, but I really do prefer the term spiritual remembering, because the one thing I realize as I'm on this journey is that you'll learn things that seem so new, but then you'll be like, I already felt this way. I already knew this. I just didn't maybe have the terms to put it in, but it was a belief inside my heart. I might not even be able to articulate it, but it was there, maybe like unspoken rules that you live by, or something that rules your perspective that, I don't know, you might not even really be conscious of. Kind of along the lines of sometimes you just don't know what you know. And sometimes you know what you don't know. In that case, it would be you don't know what you know. When I had an experience, and I will share that, but not right now. This is just something to get my feet wet, because when I had the experience that I will share, I was in a magical time, but it was very confusing and mystical. And my first inclination is that I wanted to share that experience. And I wish I would have did it in real time when I was experiencing it, but I couldn't do it because, a lot of things were happening and I really wasn't sure what was happening. And I'll say the bottom line that really halted me was because I started to just, what do they call it? What I now know are called downloads in the spiritual community. I was getting those, and a lot of the information that I received was information that was a lot. That's not the word I'm looking for. It wasn't in line with a lot of beliefs that I have held since I can remember, along the lines of religion. And then that's when I kind of halted, because, that's a huge responsibility when you're talking about something contradictory to what you've known all your life and accepted as truth. And I needed to be sure that these messages that I was receiving was coming from a real place of love and light. When you grow up Christian, a lot of times things you go through during a spiritual remembering is kind of frowned upon, and you're taught to fear it because, you're not Jesus. And we don't live in a society that opens its arms to prophets, psychics, mystics, but so I had to sort it out for myself. And then I wanted to make sure that I wasn't sharing false information. I would never want to lead people down the wrong path. And then all these fears just compounded. And I just didn't share at the time. But I did record a couple of videos. And I did journal, not as well as I should have, but I did. And I'm going to share all that. But what I want to say right now is, I'm just seeing a lot of confusion. And I know that as a light worker, as an empath, it's my responsibility, I think, to live my purpose and make sure that I'm true to myself. in my purpose. And not sharing isn't in alignment with my truth. I've always been a person who shares. I overshare. I don't hoard information. As soon as I find something out, I am excited and I share with everybody, and I often get offended when people I know and love hold information and don't share it with me. And I mean, like, sometimes you might be talking about an experience and you're going through something, and then someone will listen. They don't really offer up anything, and then later on, maybe casually, they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember when I went through such and such, or yeah, I know, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, wait, you know that? Why didn't you tell me? You could have helped me. But a lot of times when I would share information or experiences, sometimes people don't want to hear it, and they think you're being condescending or being a know-it-all, and then they want to judge you because they're like, well, if you know so much, why aren't you doing X, Y, Z? Which is kind of true in a way, because knowing something and acting on it is two different things, right? I think that's always been a weakness of mine, is putting things into action the way they need to be. But I'm working on that, and I'm doing much better, which is why I'm bringing this video to you now, because I want to act on what I'm being called to do. Yesterday, or a couple of days ago, a friend of mine who I met through